Hi, today we're looking at Functional Skills Maths Level 1 from Pearson Edexcel, and we're going to try a few questions from the March 2018 paper. So this is the old version of the syllabus, which is why we're just picking a few questions which are the particularly sort of high mark, trickier questions. So we're going to start with question 4. The bee hive has wooden frames. Each frame is made from 4 pieces of wood. All corners of the frame are right angles. The diagram, that's here, shows the length of the sides of the frame. So one piece here, one there, another one there, and another one at the bottom. Alia wants to make 2 new frames. She has a 2.4 metre length of wood. Alia thinks this will be enough to make the 2 frames. Is Alia correct? And we've got 4 marks being offered for this question. Okay, so let's think about this. So 4 marks, that's 4 steps. Well, what sort of things are we going to want to do? Well, we know that we're going to need to find out how long all of these bits of wood are, but these are all in centimetres. The bit of wood that we're comparing to is in metres. So we don't have to do it first, but I usually find it's easier to do any converting up front. So I think the first thing we'll do is convert, and we can go from centimetres to metres or metres to centimetres. It tends to be better to go from the smaller measurement, from the bigger measurements that are metres to the smaller measurement centimetres. And the reason for doing that is often we can get rid of any decimals. And if we can avoid working in decimals, it's just a bit easier. Okay. Also, if we went from centimetres to metres, we'd have to convert these 3 measurements. If we're going from metres to centimetres, we've only got 1 measurement to convert. So we're going to convert metres to centimetres. Okay. In fact, let's do that as we go along. So we're going to have 2.4 is the metres. Well, we've got 100 centimetres in 1 metre, so we're going to want to multiply that by 100 to turn it into centimetres. Okay. Now, we can use our calculator for this question, but if we didn't use a calculator, what we'd do is we'd be saying, well, we've got 2.4, so 2 and the 4, and we're multiplying by 100, so we're going to be moving the decimal place 2 positions to the right. So 1, 2. So we're going to end up with 240 centimetres. Well, once we've done that first bit, we're going to want to work out the total length of one of these frames. Okay, so she wants to make 2 frames, but we're going to start off with 1. So find total length of 1 frame. Okay, again, well, let's have a go at that. Well, we know we've got 43 centimetres, and then we've got a 14 centimetre bit down there. Then we've got 35 at the bottom. Now this one, they haven't told us what it is, but we can see it's going to be the same as that one over there. So we're going to have another 14. Okay. So again, we could use the calculator. In fact, let's use the calculator. Why not? Don't need to make life more difficult for us. So 43 plus 14 plus 35 plus another 14. And that gives us 106. And it's important to put the units, especially in these questions where we're doing conversions. We don't want to get mixed up with metres and centimetres. So we've got total length of 1 frame. Well, then next we're going to need the total length of 2 frames. Well, that's going to be the 106. And you can think of it as 106 plus another 106. Or you could do 2 times 106. Doesn't matter. Well, so we've got 106 in there. So let's multiply it by 2. So we get 212 centimetres. So we've got the length. Now the last bit we're going to need to do, and often with these questions, the last step is going to be the same thing, and really that's comparing your answers. So that's going to be compare answers and make some sort of decision, which might be yes they're right, no they're wrong, that sort of thing. So the question was, is Ali correct? She thinks that 2.4 meters will be long enough to make the two frames. So we said that 2.4 meters was 240. We're comparing it with 212. So we can say 240 is more than 212. So the answer is going to be yes. Alia is correct. Okay. Let's have a look at question 7 now. The opening hours for the beach office change during the year. These are the opening times for the beach office. So we've got our peak season. They're open Monday to Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And in the off-peak season, Monday to Friday they're open from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. But then they're closed on Saturday and Sunday. Marta wants to compare the number of hours the office is open each week for the two seasons. So comparing peak season with off-peak season. For how many more hours is the office open each week in the peak season than in the off-peak season? So they're telling us it's the answer we get for peak season should be more than off-peak. So that's going to be a good way to check if we made any mistakes. But they want to know how many more. Okay. Use the box below to show clearly how you get your answer. So 4 marks again. So 4 steps. Now we're working with time with this question, but still it's good to think, are there any conversions we can do? Well, we've got a 12-hour clock here, but if we're working out how many hours there or how many hours and minutes there are between two times, if we want to take them away, it's going to be much easier if we're dealing with a 24-hour clock. So the first thing I'll do is change times to 24-hour clock. This time I'm going to write out all the steps, I think, first, and then we'll go through it. Now, once we've worked out the times in 24-hour clock, then we can... what do we want to do? We want to work out how many peak hours. Okay. Yeah, that seems fine. Now, we're also going to need to work out how many off-peak hours. And when I say hours, it might be hours and minutes. We don't know. And then we want to know the difference. So it's going to be calculate difference in peak and off-peak hours. Okay. So let's go back to this one. Change times to the 24-hour clock. Well, in the 24-hour clock, anything that's before midday, before 12, is just going to stay the same, 9:30. We don't need the AM anymore, but it's not going to harm us. Okay. So we've got 9:30. It's the afternoon times that are going to change. So 6:30 p.m. Well, 24-hour clock. We know we've got 12 hours in the morning. So we're going to want to add 12 hours onto the 6. So you can use a calculator if you want, but I know that 12 plus 6 is going to give me 18. And the minutes are going to be unchanged. Okay, so I've turned that into 24-hour clock. We'll do all the conversions first. So again, 9:30 a.m. is just going to stay as 9:30. 3:30 p.m. Well, again, we need to add 12 hours on for the morning. So 12 plus 3 is going to make it 15:30 in a 24-hour clock. So we've changed our times to 24-hour clock. Work out how many peak hours we've got. So we want to know the difference between 9:30 and 18:30. Well, because the minutes are the same, we only need to find the difference in the hours. So really, we're saying 18 minus 9. Again, you can use your calculator, but I know that that's going to give me 9 hours. Okay. Now, it's Monday to Sunday. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 7 days a week. 9 times 7. You can use a calculator, or we can say 63 if we know our times tables. Okay, so 63 hours, and that is for the peak season. So that's this answer to number 2. For number 3, work out how many off-peak hours we've got. Well, here we're going from 9:30 to 15:30. Again, the minutes are the same, so we're only interested in the difference between the hours. So we want 15, take away 9. Whenever we want the difference, we take the bigger number minus the smaller. So 15 minus 9, that's going to give me 6 hours. With any of these, you can use your calculator, so that's absolutely fine. Now, it's only Monday to Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's just 5 days. So 6 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's step 3. Now finally, for number 4, calculate the difference in the peak and off-peak. And this is what we wanted. We wanted the peak number to be bigger than off-peak, so that's a good start. So we're going to need to do 63, take away 30, 3 minus 0 is 3, 6 minus 3 is 3. So we've got a final answer of 33 hours. Okay, and we haven't got the number up here, but this is question 8. It just happens to be part B of question 8. Teddy has a machine to make fizzy drinks. The machine uses 1 part syrup to 5 parts water to make each drink. A medium drink is 500 millilitres. Teddy has 7 litres of syrup for the machine. He thinks this is enough syrup to make 85 medium drinks. Is Teddy correct? Show why you think this. Right, so 5 marks, 5 steps. Well, as soon as we get this word to, so 1 part syrup to 5 parts water, that's telling me it's a ratio question. So I'm going to make a ratio table. Okay, and my ratio table, now we can, let's do this up here. So what's going to go in the ratio table? Well, we've got syrup and water. And we don't know if we'll need it, but it's good to have a total column as well. So we know the machine uses 1 part syrup for 5 parts water. So 1 plus 5, that would give us a total of 6. Okay. So we're going to start off doing the ratio table. Well, what's the next thing that we're going to have to do? Well, it's told us how much a total drink is going to be, but we're interested in how much syrup we need. Okay, because we've got 7 litres of syrup. So we know how much syrup, we know how much we need for a total drink. So I suppose really the missing bit is how much water we need. So if we know that when we've got 1 part syrup, we need 5 parts water, well, we've got 7 litres of syrup. So we've got to think, well, how do you get from 1 to 7? And the way we would normally do it is we'd take the bigger number, divide by the smaller. Well, of course, anything divided by 1 is just itself. So what we're saying is to get from this line to this line, we'll multiply by 7. So we're going to do 5 times 7 and 6 times 7. So 5 times 7 gives us 35. And 6 times 7 gives us 42. Okay, so I should put it in here, work out How much water? Okay, so we've got our table here. We've used the amount of syrup we've got to work out how much water. Now, what's the next bit we need to do? Well, we know how much syrup and water. When we're talking about a drink, we're talking about the total amount. So really, we want work out total drink amount. Well, because we've used the table, we've actually worked it out already. We've got this 42 here. Yep, happens to be 42 litres. But that's fine. Now, if we know that we've got 500 millilitres here, but we're dealing with litres. So what we want to do is, let's convert, and doesn't matter which way we do it. I would say let's convert the litres into millilitres. Convert litres to millilitres. Well, we've got 1,000 millilitres in 1 litre. So we're going to do 42 times 1,000, which is going to give me 42,000. Okay. Well, now we can work out how many drinks can be made. Well, we've got 42,000, and that's millilitres. We need 500 millilitres for each drink, so if we divide that by 500, it's going to tell us how many drinks we can make. So, we've got our 42,000, divide it by 500, and you can make 84 drinks. Well, he thinks this is enough syrup to make 85 drinks. Well, 84 is less than 85. So is Teddy correct? No. He's incorrect. Now, the way I've done it, I've worked out how many drinks you could make from it. You don't have to do it that way. What we could have done instead is think about, well, if this is how many drinks he wants to make, how much syrup or water or total liquid would he need for it? So you can think in two different ways. I've gone down this route. So as long as we've got a good method, you should still end up with the same conclusion. Right, so I'm just going to look at those 3 questions today. Hope you found it helpful. Please like, subscribe, make sure your notifications are on so you get updated as I add more videos, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks.